In today's episode, it will leave you moved and inspired. Have you ever wondered how much courage it takes to break the silence of your darkest secrets? Our guest, Nattolie Chilton, has transformed her pain into power, and she's joining us here today to share her journey from victimhood to victory. You'll learn how honesty, vulnerability, and courage are not just words, but tools for reclaiming your life. We'll walk through Nattolie's journey of overcoming domestic violence, addiction, and abuse and discover the keys to personal freedom. So stay with us here on the Writers' Corner live show and don't go away. We'll be right back.
Imagine a world where the lines of reality blur with the fantastical. Embark on journeys from humble beginnings to the pinnacles of literary greatness. On the Writer's Corner, we delve into the lives of unique wordsmiths, known for their compelling storytelling. They are artisans who craft fantastical realms, etched in our memory long after the final page is turned. Every tale begins with a single word, a single idea. Authors create sensations that keep you on the edge of your seat. Witness how they transform setbacks into stepping stones. Use refusals to spark growth and turn rejections into catalysts for new inspiration. Witness the diversity in writing as it gives birth to a vast array of genres, from drama to mystery to children's stories, fantasy, and reality. Join us as we uncover sources of inspiration and the magic that defines the author's craft. Find out how authors breathe life into their characters and meticulously craft narratives and plots that captivate readers. Get a sneak peek into upcoming works and join us as we celebrate literary greatness, only on the Writer's Corner. We don't just celebrate best-selling Amazon and New York Times authors, but also indie authors. Join us on the journey from the birth of a tale to the creation of a masterpiece, only on the Writer's Corner live show. Stay tuned.
If you've just joined us, then welcome to the Writers' Corner live show. If you are not yet following us on our social media channels, please do that, because that way you'll get notified the next time we go live. If you haven't met me yet, I'm Bridgetti Limbanda from Cape Town in South Africa, and in today's show, we'll be talking to Nattolie Chilton. Our live stream is made possible by Creative Edge, StreamYard, and BeLife Media. But before we invite our amazing guest, Nattolie Chilton, to come and join us on screen, I first want to say hello to my friend and co-host, Mary Elizabeth Jackson. And if you haven't met Mary yet, she's a multiple #1 Amazon best-selling author and certified special needs and disability advocate. And she's dedicated her entire life to empowering underrepresented voices through her writing and advocacy. She's also a speaker, educator, and ghostwriter and songwriter. Mary, how are you today?
I'm wonderful. Thank you, Bridgetti, so much. And we are excited about our guest today because she has done what we've done a couple of times together, which is be an anthology collaborative book with Action Takers Publishing. And so it's an adventure, right?
It absolutely is. And guys, if you are still holding back, if you're afraid to get published, oh my goodness, Mary and I, as she just said, we've done this a couple of times with Linda Sunshine West of Action Takers Publishing. And I know that Nattolie will also tell you the hand-holding that Linda does is absolutely incredible, you know. So if you're scared, just dive in. Tell us in the comments and we'll connect you.
Yeah, just do it anyways, as Linda would say. Oh, and Sally is watching us over on Instagram. Hi, Sally.
Welcome, Sally. So if you haven't met the amazing Nattolie Chilton yet, she is an international best-selling author. She's a courageous storyteller, a survivor of domestic violence, addiction, and parental alienation. Her true story, Unsilenced, releases in November 2024. So watch out for that. If you're watching us on Amazon right now, keep your eyes peeled on Amazon. She sheds light on the silence that enables predators. Nattolie's journey of survival spans decades of darkness, but she emerged victorious, earning degrees in neuro-linguistic programming and hypnosis. Today, Nattolie is passionate about empowering others with the truth that honesty, courage, and vulnerability can lead to complete liberation and wholeness. But who better to tell her story than Nattolie herself? So please help us welcome Nattolie to the show.
Hi, Nattolie.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to the show. We are so delighted that you could join us today on the Writers Corner live show.
Yeah, so we're going to dive right in. So, what was that moment that prompted you to say, okay, I need to tell my story, and then I'm going to go public with it in a book that'll be published and be a bestseller so that lots of people see it?
Ooh, well, I was prompted in 2007, actually, in Norway. I was in a difficult relationship, and I felt the whisper, tell your story. And that was Creator God, who I call God. And then I kind of forgot it. I kind of got lost again down the rabbit hole of darkness in that relationship. And then after its end, that relationship ended. It was 2013, and it was like, write your story. And that's Unsilenced, like the full story. And I felt immediately overwhelmed. I started to write. It was January, beginning of January, I started to write. And then I was like, oh my, this is so much, 50 years of life. Like, where do you even start? There's so many levels, so many layers. And then I heard the voice. It was like, this is not about you. This is about me. And I was like, okay, how is that even possible? I mean, it feels like it's about me. It feels quite personal, my life, to me, but it was then that basically the love of my life entered stage left within that, at the end of that month. And within 2.5 months, I was here in my forest sanctuary in abundance and love and safety. And for the last 10 years, I've been unfurling and healing, and chapter by chapter, wound by wound, healing. So that was that part.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Wow. I think, we all sort of have a starting point, and you definitely have a great starting point. Now, you've been through some really unimaginable challenges in your life. How did you make vulnerability your greatest tool for healing?
Ooh, that was difficult. Because you lose trust, right? People were my biggest fear. I was actually phobic of people. And so I had panic attacks like all the time. That was through my 20s and 30s, all the way up to, 40. So vulnerability, I guess, in 2005, I met a special woman, and through my work. And before then, in neurolinguistics, in that degree, I started to reveal parts, what was really going on as I worked through, the sexual abuse and different things. And so going through my counseling program really helped me, because it was nonstop therapy. For as a 2-year program, it took me 6 years because there was a lot going on. And with each step forward into vulnerability and risking rejection, risking having people see me, that was a huge one, because I just had this, I believed that if people knew who I was, they would reject me. But with each risk of opening up and sharing, it was the opposite that I discovered, that people actually, it grew real connection, because the secrets and the keeping things all to yourself block true connection when we're not being honest. So that was my encouragement, is that I basically went from friendless to slowly growing some friendships, some real friendships with people who loved me. And that was my reward in becoming more vulnerable.
And you need that support and that encouragement to keep you going, because you've been through, like Brigetti said, some unimaginable things some people never come back from. And so that was very brave of you and very hard. And we're glad that you're here to tell your story and share it with others, because it encourages others to do the same. And I want to ask you, why do you think predators are so successful in environments of silence? Like, how do we change that? How do we encourage others to change those situations for themselves? If anyone's out there watching.
Well, let's see. This is really a huge root. A root core theme in Unsilenced is the, I aligned with my father, who was quite wordless. And so how do people, I'm just integrating your question. Well, it feels counterintuitive to tell somebody when tough things happen to us, such as a rape, such as domestic violence, whatever it is. These things happen all the time. And the trauma in itself, the shock of it, people generally don't have a grid. They have no pathway of thought of what to do next. You just become kind of frozen from that experience. Usually it's a shock, and then you don't tell anybody. Most people don't tell. So what I would say to anybody listening is that if something like this happens, tell as soon as possible. So whoever it is, go to the hospital, go to, tell your friend if you have one, tell a, prayer line, but release it immediately. The sooner we release it, the easier the healing will be, and the healing will start. And was my fatal flaw, basically, because at 5 years old, I had no words, and I didn't have safety. So there was no way for me to verbalize an experience such as I experienced. And then, just other things in the family. Things happen in the family, and I'm not even saying, but the family just shuts down, and the shame, whatever the reasons, they don't tell, and they try to deal with them on their own. So making that call and just opening the door, which allows the light in, the truth to be expressed, which brings the light in. And then you have other brains, other people's cognitive function to kind of walk with you, because we do it blows your circuits. It blows your mind a little bit. So you can't really think. And that was what it was for me. I didn't have the capacity to reason, and especially in addiction, that cognitive function gets frozen and shut down with trauma and with addiction, and I had both. So, but you can recover. So that's neuroplasticity. That's the hope, is the recovery is possible. But truth and releasing your voice is a huge key to that.
I just really want to say that this is universal. Wherever we live in the world, it's the same everything. People shut down, people feel silenced. And so your book, or your upcoming book, Unsilenced, is going to be phenomenal. You talk about personal liberation. How can others begin that process of breaking free? Like, where do you start? How do you start?
Well, for me, that liberation came actually through prayer. It was supernatural. So it came by actually, raising my hands, raising my voice, like, help me. Like, I didn't believe in God. I was raised with religious grandparents, but it was like, help me. I just sensed that there was something there that could help me. And I kept asking. And then it transitioned into actually a spiritual journey of gratitude, where on a biological level and a cognitive, a spiritual level, because I wasn't raised with gratitude. It was the opposite. So, but I was always optimistic at heart. Like, that was my essence. And so I kind of returned to that, and I was like, just the message was in different readings that I'd read. And it was like, just be grateful for anything. And so I started to apply gratitude. I was just like, thank you for the beautiful sunshine. Thank you. Like, even amid like distraction all around me, I started to just reach up and just put my words forth and sing. I'm a singer. So I was like, thank you for, just make a little ditty. Thank you for the beautiful sun. Thank you for this and that. And that lifted me. And I felt the spiritual lift from that, and kind of came to a new place, a new vantage point where I could see more clearly, and like the vibration raised, and that was progressive. So it went from different kinds of positive emotions, focusing on the positive wherever I could see it, and just leveraging every which way, from exercise to eating better, nutrition. So I started studying all these different ways and just adding in little things like fasting, any way that I could see better, clear my mind. And eventually the supernatural just started speaking to me on a spirit level. I started to get messages, and that was amazing. That was amazing. I was like, that was the hugest game changer, of course, because I always felt alone and unsupported, almost always. And that was like, I am not alone. And just knowing that viscerally was a comfort that strengthened me, no matter what, even if there weren't any humans supporting me. But usually there was somebody that would pop up somewhere, like a little angel of some kind. And the habit that needed to be broken was my habit of isolating and returning to silence and becoming invisible, because those old fears just kept dragging me back, like, shut up, like, they're going to judge you, this and that, the fear speaks, which is a liar. And so the healing seems counterintuitive at times. It feels like I can't say it, but what you think you can't say, what you think you cannot face, is what will free you. And what freed you.
Good.
Yeah.
That was very profound. I'm sorry, go ahead. Yes.
Yeah, the truth is, dealing with it. Most of us don't want to be facing the truth all the time. It's not the easiest thing, but it is the freeing thing. So we don't have to hide from anything anymore. Once we're out in the light, it's actually. I'll just share that Eminem. I don't know if you know the movie 8 Mile. He did this. He did this. His movie. And he was in the Black community, and he was facing down a rapper, and the rapper was just dissing him for the white trash that he was, and just tearing him apart. And in a moment, Eminem, he just got 100% honest, and he outed himself every which way. And that's what Unsilenced is. That the book that I've written is outing myself every which way. Nobody has anything on me because I've done it myself. And now I feel
Beautiful. You've outed yourself. Yeah.
yes.
That
Yeah.
was really
It's like
So
no one's got a hold on you, and that's powerful.
very, very powerful. And you touched on something very, very important: gratitude. Gratitude is it's a game changer, especially when you're in the throes of something, fear and anxiety and trauma and whatever it is. And I know it seems impossible sometimes with things that people are facing to even go to a place like that. But if you can just shift yourself just even this littlest bit, it changes the vibration of your whole body and how it feels, and the energy that around you is just so different. What surprised you most, good and bad, about your recovery journey? And you probably have a lot of things, but is there anything significant that stands out a little bit more than others for the good and bad of your journey?
the good and bad of the journey. There's two things that come to mind. Part of it was, I think the part that I really want to say is the sexual aspect. Basically, the initial sexual injury, and then the basically being in the illicit sex industry, like in those areas, experiencing being exploited, and just having experience in paid for sex, put it that way, and is the damage. And though the window was quite small, the damage was absolutely massive. And I wanted to speak to women, actually, women, young girls, whoever they are, women. So many women are involved in this, like OnlyFans and all kinds of areas. And the men also, in that the injury that is happening through loveless sexuality and pornography, all this is very injuring. And it takes so long to heal, and I'm still healing from it. So I just recommend people really get out of it, get out of those areas, even viewing pornography, because it does produce a wedge between, men and women. I just think that sex is meant to have love attached, and that's how we're meant to connect. And even on a virtual level, I really spiritually believe there are bonds being built even on an energetic level from what we view. It's hardwiring our brain, just all kinds of a mess. So sex is meant to, is precious. Our bodies are precious. And my initial imprinting made me believe that it had no value whatsoever. And my, just my upbringing, I received powerful messages of worthlessness, which of course was rumor, the belief system grooming. Nobody would ever do these things without that imprinting, because it's unnatural. and there is no fun in it.
Nattolie, thank you
And
so
that's,
much for sharing that. And I just want to reiterate what you said. Pornography is not harmless fun. It's very harmless, and it's very, very dangerous and very, very damaging. It's not something to toy with. In Ripple Effective Impact, you wrote chapter 16. What message do you want readers to walk away with after reading that chapter?
the message is that we are not alone. So there's this, I was explicitly shown by through the spiritual realm that there's so much more than this 3D reality and different profound experiences that is in the ripple effect and that is woven throughout Unsilenced was, I felt so, what was the word? I felt just alone. I felt abandoned. I felt on the outside looking in, like I wasn't connected to humanity, like I wasn't even a part of. I was on the outside looking in. And that, like, on a quantum level, that is impossible because we are a web of interwoven light, everything. So all of us human beings, we are connected. There is no way to disconnect. So so that's my message is rest assured, if you haven't seen it or felt it, there is a creator. There is more love. Our foundation is love, and what we focus on, we get more of. So as we begin to shift our focus to notice the beauty and the love that we can see in children, we can see in animals, that will grow. And know you're not alone, period. I saw
it. Hey, can you show us your cover of your book? We'd love to see the cover.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
It's really beautiful. I love it. I love the water drop. And, for anyone out there who is interested in getting into an anthology or collaboration, they can connect with Nattolie, and, you can ask Brigetti and I or Nattolie about it, and, kind of what the experience is. It's a really great way to get connected and to tell your story. I think like what you're doing, Nattolie, is something that both Brigetti and I have done. And it allowed us both to talk about things I think we never talked about publicly before either. So it was a great, safe space to do it, and I think then that changes things for you once you get to that place to be able to talk about stuff and to be able to meet people that way too. It changes the relationship you have with others when everyone's kind of coming to the visible no more. And, we all came in with like, oh, well, this happened to me. I am definitely not perfect. I got all this brokenness. And we were like, oh, hey, cool. Me too. And then, everybody loves each other for it and has that compassion before you have anything else for someone else, which is an amazing experience to have.
Lady, we are out of time, unfortunately. Nattolie, we could talk to you for another hour. So we'd love to have you back sometime. Please connect with us or stay connected. We'd love to talk about your upcoming book some more when that is released. So to our amazing audience out there, thank you for joining us on the Writers' Corner live show. It's been a pleasure having you with us as we explored Nattolie Chilton's powerful journey from silence to strength. And if you enjoyed today's conversation, please, please, please do buy a copy of Nattolie's book on Amazon. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you won't miss out on any future interviews with our incredible authors. Until next time, keep reading, stay inspired, and remember, every great story begins with a dream. Take care, everyone. Thank you for joining us on the Writers' Corner live show. 30 minutes of insightful author conversations with some of the biggest names in the industry, including award-winning authors and international indie sensations. Join us on the next episode of the Writer's Corner live show.